Well, 2 hours ago, a new Project Motor Racing update came out, and given how you lot seemed to quite like the last one, we're doing one for this. It's 1.6. So we shall see. We're going to go over a bit of testing. We're going to go see what we've been doing. I've had a little bit of a play about with it here. There's quite a lot of things that they've done actually. I can actually read you through some of the things just now. So this came out today, 2 hours ago actually, as I'm recording this at 7:01 at night. Here we go. Here we go. Vehicles fix. We have got fix an issue, fixing certain cars. Turn driving assist off. Improve windscreen reflections. Wow. Porsche 992 GT3R has received improved cockpit vibrations. Wow. Handling. Improve collision. Fix collision cleanup when vehicles are teleported. Improve transmission driveline, gear handling, ignition stability, and brake temperature issues. General physics cleanup and refactoring to stability and performance. Wow. LMDH. They've done an arse ton on LMDH, by the way, which is good. New tyre revisions with improved grip and predictability on cold temperatures. Changes to the engine modelling for more resistant revving and inertia. Upshift downshift tuning to go along with the previously mentioned change of the engine modelling, by the way. Tuned brake balance and Tuned brake balance and ABS settings. Updated tyres for improved overall handling. Wow! GT3 GT4 992 Cup. Default brake bias has been changed to 50%. With a change to the rear brake sizes. User created setups can be revised for this change. And they've changed the penalties again. Again. Whatever version, every update, I don't think we've had an update without fail that's changed the penalty system, by the way. Improved track limit detection, margins and accuracy. Fixed incorrect penalties in the Nürburgring, Nordschleife and Lexington, also known as Mid-Ohio. Added safer detection of drivable surfaces outside track limits. So I believe now, if we go to Zolder, we can go in the carbs, which is cool. So, wow! Online, fixing issue causes players experience black screen when someone quits lobby. Vehicle damage has been enabled for ranked mode. Improvements made to the ranked online scoring system to prevent exploits. Fixed crashes related to invalid driver profiles and driver multiplayer menus. I've had that happen once in the Porsche 992. It was going to be my first podium as well. Added safeguards to ensure grid positions are correct. Potential soft lock issue that could occur when selecting events. Improved maintenance mode handling networks. Fixing an issue with the racing line could stop updating. Career mode improved validation for missing DLC. Championships now only populate with own tracks and valid grid sizes. Weather seasons now appear throughout career mode. Weather conditions enabled, giving a chance of wet weather. That's a good thing, actually. Start times have been reviewed to give more time of day variety, including night time. Wow! AI, improved braking logic, enhanced AI predictions using track incline, yada yada yada, improved pit stop logic, added slip protection and safer thingy, fixed multiple issues related to AI behaviour causing system crashes, refined AI performance for closer, more consistent racing. That hopefully is going to be good. Adjusted AI tyre wear to better match wear performance. Tracks added and refined ground collision, improved trees. Yes. Who doesn't like an improved tree? Fixed texture issues, clipping and level of detail. Fix micro gaps for ground surfaces. Fix shadow LOD inconsistencies. Improved exposure handling, including cockpit exposure. Fix your rear view virtual mirror issues on console. Improved reflections. Fix fog fade. Ensured atmosphere quality can no longer be disabled. Fix intermittent overlay rendering and online issues. Improved minimap. Enabled input display graphic on the bottom left of the HUD when using a controller. And then there's a bunch of things that they've added support for, and fixed controller vibrations, some stability and performance, included improved handling of DLC tracks and vehicles when loading career mode. Add a clearer validation reporting the missing incompatible content. That is all. That I've reached the bottom of the page. So there. So cool. We are here on Project Motor Racing. Let's test out 1.06. Well, including this very long intro. But I was just going through all the things. Let's get on and see how we get on. Oh dear. So we're here on Project Motor Racing. Sorry about that slightly long intro here. I'm mostly in frame Project Motor Racing. I don't know, some of my thing isn't liking the frame. Apparently it's too tall for some reason. Could just be stupidness on my part, so hopefully it's not. I mean, it probably is, given it's me. We've got most of it. We've got all the important stuff. I think we're actually on the race. All that's cut off is the game time and a bit of the sky. So apologies for that. Hopefully you can live through it. But yeah, we're here. We're going to go on the Porsche Cup today. 6-lap race around Zolder. Just to test out our first kind of things. And then I think we're going to go in the LMDHs just to see how they get on. Sure. So yeah. Fingers crossed all goes well. As you can see, they have actually changed the setup screen, so you can actually see the whole setup name. We're going to go high DF because the high downforce. I'm going to do this just because I've been told about the tyre thing. Yeah, just to make sure. So yeah, we're here in the Porsche Cup. We don't use the grid because does anyone really care? As you can see, my hopefully things have been changed. Let's see. I mean, you can see our brake bias isn't 50-50 because we've got the setup on. But yeah, the main thing that I want to actually, the main reason we went to Zolder is because of the carbs. In ACC anyway, I'm not sure you should, I think you should anyway, is you utilise the whole of that chicane carb, but in the old updates, in ACC, in Project Motor Racing anyway, if you use the whole carb, you'd get the track limit violation, which is really annoying. So hopefully they have fixed that. Anyway, this chicane is, I mean, anyway from there we kind of got forced a bit wide and offline. We're in that chicane, but from what it seems like, we kind of looked like we didn't quite stay on the track there. We definitely didn't there. Or we weren't all on the tarmac anyway. By definite means. We didn't get a penalty, so that's good. So they've definitely fixed it anyway for Zolder. Oh my god, the frame rate. Ooh. That's not the game, that's the recording. Sorry about that. So far, I'd say it's pretty good. I mean, half a lap, or a lap of Zolder in a P Cup is by no means in depth. However, it's roughly in depth. It's about as in depth as I will go. So, right, that, I mean, yeah, that was pretty bad anyway. No further action though. So you can see the penalties still do work. Anyway, I wonder if it's just for specific places where you're supposed to use carbs. Like the big wide carbs, like the chicanes. So hopefully this is in depth enough for you lot, and decent enough. I mean, I know the last update was by no means good. It was me basically saying what had happened with the penalty overhaul, and then driving 11 laps to Kyalami and Morgan, whilst proceeding to not really commit any penalties. Yeah, but look at that there. We could basically completely cut the tarmac off there, and there was no warnings in sight for me, so it's definitely mended, and that is a good thing. That's a positive. Another positive for the upward climb Project Motor Racing has had, as we need to go into the back of a Porsche. Well, I mean, it would be. I'd be surprised if it wasn't a Porsche we go in the back of there, because it's the Porsche Cup. So Yeah, it's a good thing the penalties work. Oh my god, I cannot function this car. It's just me being crap at racing instead of the... Let's go like a way... Oh, piss. That's a lock-up. I mean, we somehow survived that. I wonder if that's... I mean, we didn't lock up the brakes. There we go. Go around the corners. So yeah, the chicanes here are definitely fixed. Now, the Nürburgring and Mid-Ohio issues that were mentioned, or the Lexington issues, I've never driven Lexington before in this game. In fact, no, I did drive it. I drove it once for 20 laps in the old Porsche Cup and encountered no issues. And I've driven the Nürburgring Nordschleife unsuccessfully a few times. With, well, oh, okay. Yeah, we get chat limit violations. If we get a slowdown, do we like... Is it just still 2 seconds, or will it be normal amounts of time now? I wonder. Someone I'd rather not find out deliberately, or someone I'd rather not find out accidentally. However, it would be good if they have sorted that issue. Once again, I do hope you find this enough. I'm not a very in-depth man, pretty vague with many things. But... yeah, the main thing to note at Zolder is that you can use the chicane curbs a lot. You can abuse them, which is good. We're really not driving well this race. However, we're not. The main goal isn't to drive well this race. It's to drive a car semi-competently, not quickly, and test out some of the things that they've claimed to fix. Which so far seems to be true. I mean, like, I don't think in the Owens update we would have been able to do that. We just hop, skipped and jumped over that curve there. Yeah, that was quite fun actually. Catching air in Zolder. Why? Yeah, so the good thing is that this is definitely mended. I'm not sure this was the thing they were talking about, the cockpit vibrations. However, I mean, it was a Porsche. It was a Porsche 992. I believe that's actually the GT3. I didn't say it. Might have been this. All I know is this has been vibrating a lot in the cockpit, I've noticed. And just something about this game, something about... I'm not sure if it's just me being tired, but everything looks slightly darker. Instead of more, like, vivid and bright. So I'm not sure. I mean, I don't want to farm sympathy. However, I've been very excited about this, and I'm sacrificing sleep time because we've got assignments to do. So better get this done quickly. Not do too many retakes. Oh my god! See ya. That man launched it. Safety, we're not coming last. Well, if we do come last, that'll be a bit embarrassing, but yeah, I can definitely abuse that chicane a lot on the track limits side of things. So I think next race, for our next kind of short thing, we might as well have a bit of a wee go at the MDHs, because allegedly they've been changed. As you well know from previous streams, I'm not very good at the MDHs. We're actually in the last lap of this race. I'm pushing as hard as I can, mate. I mean, I'm not. Well, I am. I'm pushing as hard as I can within my comfort zone. And also within my zone of also talking at the same time. But yeah. Overall, Zolder is pretty good, I would say. The track limits are definitely fixed. I don't want to test just now if it's what the original Zolder track limits were like. If you know anything from, was it day, when did I test it? When did I do Zolder in the old peak up? Yeah, it was a wee bit ago anyway. You could take that first chicane flat out and just completely go on the green bit, which is mad track limits violation. Like, you get sent to jail if you did that in real life. But yeah, I wonder if it's. I wouldn't assume it's like that again. If it is like that, that's that needs changed, devs. However, overall, Zolder's pretty good. And we come measly 14th. I don't even remind me about bloody map markers, mate. We were 2 seconds off everything else so fast, like fab. Great. Moving on. We don't need to talk about that. We just need to talk about yeah, whatever we're doing next. Where should we go? Where did it mention? It mentioned Lexington, which is mid-Ohio. Let's do the chicane one, because the chicane one feels interesting. The Lamborghini SC63, because it's funny. Ignoring that completely obvious cut, we're here. We're going to try just the bog standard setup and see how it is. We definitely didn't spin at 30 kilometers an hour in the grass at the hairpin, while avoiding a crash, but you know. Moving on, here we are on the LMDH. The lockup feels a bit nicer. I mean, that wasn't very much of a brake test, just to see how the lockups are. That was just a slab on the brakes at 70 kilometers an hour. How fast can you take the chicane? Pretty quick, as it turns out. I've never done it with a chicane before. Maybe it makes it slightly more interesting. Yeah. So, who knows what the track limits are like at Lexington? I don't know what the issue was before. Simply because I haven't driven it. I felt much more confident in the brakes there. I think. I mean, they didn't necessarily say anything to the brakes. It said something to do with, I believe, brake. I can't actually remember what I just said about 10 minutes ago. They've changed the LMP ones anyway. That's the main thing. See how they are. Feel okay so far. Actually feels, if anything, better from yesterday's stream. Maybe it's just because I'm more used to them. I have driven the I keep saying LMP1s, but I'm so stuck in Project Cars 2. That was a bit of a muscle out the way from the Aston there, but in all fairness, he's got all the rights to do that because I'm just an idiot and slow around mid-Ohio. Am I taking this hairpin too quickly? I'm too focused on driving instead of the update. Yeah. So I believe, I mean, I don't know any issues with where the issues were with mid-Ohio. However, but this braking thing feels a bit more. I don't know if it's just I'm more confident or the brakes feel different, but I definitely feel like I'm able to brake a bit easier. I can change the deploy. Oh, that was a bit crap. Yeah, so we're not going to be anywhere near 15, but I'm simply just driving this track. I mean, I must admit, apologies for driving so shit this video. And apologies for that language, because I'm sure there's people that are watching that don't want to hear that. But I am shocking at Mid-Ohio. And this is like my worst nightmare. Mid-Ohio in an LMDH. We're picking up a bit more. No, we're not. No, we are. We're losing time. Oh yeah. No, the brakes are definitely different. I would have been never able to do that in yesterday, unless I was just like so lacking confidence. But I was almost 75% braking there. I don't know. I got over half last G without dying. The brakes are very much more nice. Be much more aggressive on them. Bit crap there. I wonder if it was there, because the pit lane's a bit weird here. Uh-oh. Thought it was the grass there for a second. Okay, we lost a second. That's not very good. However, now we go down here. This is kind of the big braking zone of the track. Yeah, I can just brake as if that's like normal. There's no semblance of wanting to lock up or really even thinking about locking up there. The brakes just kind of... Not sure if it's because I had a setup on or what, but... yeah, the brakes just work. They do their magic as well. Penalties seem very lenient now. I just feel if that was a previous update, that would, I think that chicanes where we lose time. I think this bit we're quite good at. I'm just treating this like a normal video now. I'm not talking about the update. I must say, going into that braking zone. Yeah, like I just stamped on the brakes there, and it just started to lock up there. Before, it felt like it instantly locked up. I'm not sure if that's because I was insistent using the DLC setups. Not the DLC setups, the mod setups. I'm not sure if they're just a bit stupid. But, in all honesty, these things feel quite good on ice. I mean, again, this video I know is getting a bit long, and I do want a coffee before it's too late. However, I think we might do one more race at a track I can actually drive at. Just to see, okay. That's a slowdown there. I might have went over track limits. No, I haven't, they did. Apparently felt like they caught up quite quickly there. That's way too driven there. Not sure what the verdict was there. We are horrendous at Mid-Ohio. Jeezy peeps, we need practice here. I mean, I never noticed anything with the minimap. I know they did some change to the minimap to make it better. I don't honestly know what the changes were, what they did to it. Nor did I notice anything wrong with the minimap beforehand. I think we might do like 4 laps of Spa for like our next race. in 117s here. Just to test out the LMDH again, because that Spa's got some big braking zones. I just want to see if it's like truly, or if it's actually different. Because again, Minute Highlight I don't know, Spa I do know well. Our best lap was 2 seconds off the worst lap of them, so we definitely need improvements there. But overall, I do actually think the braking has changed a lot. Here, let's go down to Spa now. Just a wee quickie for that race, just to see are the brakes different? Because I know Spa's got some huge braking zones, and I just want to see, is it done? And also, another thing I want to test, because this is actually another thing that I noticed from streams, is that up Eau Rouge, up the top, Raidillon. I know Eau Rouge is the little kink in the Raidillon, the rest of it, but for the final kind of bit, as you kind of crest the hill, the final kink left, not the kink right down the Camel Straight, but the kink left, is that you could cut that like hell all the time, and yeah, whatever would go on and you wouldn't get penalised for it. So I'm wondering, is that fixed? It's one thing they definitely need is rolling starts. Because I'm pissed at standing starts. Why is there cones on the track? Which one of you Muppets has just decided to go and drive half in the grass? Cheeky deployment. Just to get by the chappie. There we go. See, I mean, Eau Rouge is flat anyway in this thing. Yeah, still lifted off. That's a big accident. Right, Le Combe, this is one of the big braking zones at Spa. Either I've gained confidence, or I think they've definitely changed the brakes, because I swear that would have locked up. Otherwise, it's just the setup I was using. But just like, puts the brakes way too far forward in the bias, because I mean, that was what was going on with the Porsche. I was locking up every corner massively. I put the brake bias back a bit. Felt about the same, and I was just not locking it at all. But I can definitely stab on the brakes now. Someone's died here. Okay, you can't do pull on. No further action. We did definitely gain time. I think some of these track limits almost feels like they say, yeah, you did track limits, but in all honesty, it's actually okay. That's the one thing about that track, the Spa in this game, where ACC I don't like, is they put gravel at the exit there. Right, this is the main test at Spa here, just to see, has the braking been fixed? Here. Usually, I'd probably end up locking this up a ton. Again, I didn't put too much brake force in it. Hello, Porsche. I didn't put too much brake force in that lap. We'll try stab it on a bit more. I think this lap, what we're going to do, because we've got a bit of time behind us. Yeah, no. The brakes are definitely mended, I think. Could just be me. Okay. I think it's like the moment you almost dip a wheel off where you're meant to, it does the track limits. Right, is the Eau Rouge thing mended? We're deliberately going, yes, it has been mended. Yeah. So that's a good thing. We're not really, for these races, actually... full force there for a minute. Car just tolerated it. Okay. We're getting a few track limits, but okay. I think Spa's still quite strict in their track limits. They don't like you cutting the comb, do they? That's not fair. They definitely got away with Pouon, but definitely not Le Combe there. I mean, Eau Rouge was fine, because I'd expect that. com there. It wasn't a big cut, but I guess it is what it is. Yeah, another thing I noticed, these tyres have heated up fine. Again, I'm not sure that's just because I was using setups. I didn't use the bog standard setups before in the LMDHs, I don't think. However, these... Right, let's try see. I do believe the brakes have been fixed. Considering how other races this video's went. Let's give it the proper test into the bus stop and see. Again, could honestly just be setups. Yeah, it only just locked up at the end there, so I do think there's definitely been. I mean, they've said that they've done changes to LMDH. Nothing explicitly said we have changed the brakes. Or did it? I swear it said something about the brakes, but I think that was in the GT3 section. But yeah, who knows? Trying to come again. Yeah, I was full lock there for a minute. Again, not full lock, full brakes, and there was nothing. There was nothing in the terms of we're gonna kill you now. It was just, yeah, it braked, it slowed down. In all honesty, these things actually slow down on a dime, even with what I was doing last stream. Doing like, I think I was doing 30% braking in the Nürburgring T1. Cool, that doesn't seem too bad. Just I was so scared of locking the thing up. I think I can way go down the traction control route. Forgot that I can't scroll up on these menus. Because the up D-pad is the change page. So I'm going to scroll down to go up and usually I miss it. Try traction control 3. Just see. And the brake. Yeah, no, the brakes feel much better. Again, could be just because I'm using bog standard setups that the game gives us, but it does feel so much better. This, but the force feedback feels good as well. It isn't heavy. It doesn't feel as heavy as it was before. Again, I didn't mention things about force feedback, but again, the tyres feel like they grip more, especially around things like Pouhon. I remember doing things in Canadian Tire with these things. And around T2, the big, long, fast one, is that some of the tyres, like, they get mad hot really quickly, and then the car would just kind of die and just give up on the gripping and just spin out. So the tyres definitely feel better. Not that I'm one that's good with feeling in the tyres, but hello Toyota. What are you doing? Yeah, that's minor Pouhon track limits. It's nothing. I don't think I was in the track the entirety around Pouhon there. No further action. Fab, thanks. Project Motor Racing Gods. Yeah, so overall, this update's been fab. like Zolder's fix. I would drive Zolder again. I kind of some of these tracks that you drive and that are kind of they work, but they're not that great. Like Zolder in older updates, where you couldn't attack the curbs in the chicane, the second chicane in particular, because you get track limit violation. Tracks like that, I try to avoid just because of that, and it got frustrating because it's not. Because you see them doing it all the time, and you do it in ACC all the time, and yeah. Moving on. Yeah. So like you see that in Zolder, I would try Zolder again, just because you can attack the curbs now, and all that, and the tires, the MDH, they feel much better as well, especially the Lamborghini. I've driven quite a bit in the Lamborghini. It's probably my most driven MDH maybe, but yeah, it's definitely much better. So yeah, that is cool. So that is Project Motor Racing 1.6. Oh dear, another voice crack. Overall I think it's a really good update. The MDHs I drive a lot more now. The MDHs I drive much more now. The Zolder I drive a lot much more now again, just because the track limits are fixed. Everything so far from the tracks I've driven. I mean, I don't know much about Lexington nor what the issue was with Lexington. However, sure. I mean, if you're one that drives Lexington a lot or Mid Ohio in this game, if you made it to here, it might be worth telling me what was the issue at Lexington, because I think I drove it once in the entirety of the game up to that point. What was the other one I mentioned? Nürburgring Nordschleife. Again, if you go over track limits there, you're a bit buggered anyway. So I'm not quite sure what I was pointing out there. One of the issues I actually noticed with the Nürburgring, this was really early. This was the day the V8 Mazda was released. When was that released? Doesn't say. This was like week 2 of the game. As I was doing it never came out the video, but I was doing a video testing the V8 Mazda. I was doing a lot of the Nürburgring. All went well. Last little kinks at the end and after the big long straight. The next thing the car just jumps and it's dead. Other than that, I mean, from when I've driven the Nürburgring, it's all okay. But yeah, overall, I think it's a really good update. Again, really good positive progress for Project Motor Racing to kind of get up again from the, I must admit, absolutely horrendous launch date from what everyone was saying. I mean, yeah, there's people still saying, oh, don't buy a game, it's a waste of time. It's not a waste of time. Get the game. I really enjoy it. Again, I know this isn't sponsored. I don't know why the Project Motor Racing devs would be sane enough to sponsor me. Not sponsor me, but, paid promotion for this. But this is my honest thing, and I'd say get the game. It is a ton of fun. Online can be a bit mediocre, just because how poor the launch was. Everyone wanted their money refunded, but if you get a good GT3 lobby about this time of day, actually, when they're on. Like most of the times at this time of night when I've had GT3 lobbies, it's like 20, 23 cars there. Even midday, like I've done streams at 3-4 PM UK time, and it's all nice and good and well and fixed. They're not fixed, but you can't really fix online, can you? I mean, you can, like connection issues, but I was getting like a 24 car race around Kyalami and that in the GT3 series. So I think outside the GT3 series, I think the online's a bit, sometimes can be sparsely populated. I mean, I had 9 cars in a GT1 race at Spa I did. Again, that was horrendous. I didn't enjoy that race. That was a bit bad. But yeah, overall, like I can see one here, Porsche 992 Cup Nürburgring GP. Starts in 8 minutes. There's 6 people already signed up to it. Once that gets down to 2 minutes or something, people will start flooding in, because you don't want to sit around once you enter the race. You can't do anything. You just need to wait. So like there's that and all that. So like yeah, there's like a spike when it gets to like 2 minutes before the race actually starts. So yeah. Anyway, that was Project Motor Racing 1.6. I do hope you enjoyed this one here. Apologies for maybe being a bit long on the long side, and apologies for any horrendous driving you saw. sure there was. I mean, there was actually. The Midnight race was shocking. The Zolder race was pretty shocking as well, I must admit. But yeah, we will see you next time here. If you did enjoy this one, like, subscribe. That would be greatly appreciated. There, thanks so much for the support over the past few weeks, month or so, since I've came back. Yeah, it's I'm over the moon of how it's grown. I mean, again, 148 I think is the time when I look just now. It's not like, that, but like, consider how we started. I think we're on 132. We gained like, 15, 16, 17 subs. It's pretty good. Mine those are getting blocked. Sorry. I've also dragged this long a tons. Apologies as well. But yeah, that's Project Warrior 6. Hope you enjoyed that one. See ya.